Welcome to ABCAM, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to host so many of you from the community. My name's Alan Herzl. I'm the Chief Executive of ABCAM, and on behalf of the 1,800 people around the world who run this business, I get the privilege of seeing you all here today, so thank you. This company and the space you're in is motivated, all of us are motivated by one vision and idea, which is to try and make science more productive and have a greater impact on society by giving them better tools. You know, ABCAM's like the snap-on toolbox for life scientists around the world, but a little different than traditional tools. What we're doing is working on things that can't be seen by the eye and have to be engineered in biology to help other biologists study what's going on in the cell. Now, to make this company work, obviously we need more than life scientists, so we have people from all sorts of backgrounds. And the other thing that excites us about building this company, and I think the connection to what many of you are doing, is trying to create the next generation of STEM-educated youth who can run this company in the future, and companies like it. And I sponsor an employee resource group in the United Kingdom and worldwide for social mobility. So I'm really interested in trying to help children, teens, and families from backgrounds that don't have everything laid out for them at their feet try and make their way into sciences. What we see is that only about half of the kids that ought to be in STEM fields are actually getting exposed to that for one reason or another, and they're not getting that opportunity. We're motivated to address that issue, and one of the things that I hope in my presence here in Waltham now is that I can get more involved in bringing kids into this environment and helping them see what's possible. I've just moved back to the United States. I've been away for 25 years. I'm really excited to see the community engagement here today and to see what I can do to help. When I started out in the sciences in 1985, I'd never worked in a lab. I was desperate to get a job, so I got a job as a glass washer for what was then the most money I'd ever been paid, $7 an hour. And you know, that was the entry to an environment that was very foreign and different than the one I grew up in. So if we can provide those kind of eye-opening experiences to others, whether it's in the lab or in the office, we're delighted to do so. So that's us. I'm not here to give you a big speech about ABCAM. I'm actually here to help transition to your annual meeting. So the Waltham Partnership for Youth's annual meeting is an event that we've now hosted for our second year. We hope to do that more often. And Clive Richardson, as your chairman, is going to take you through today's meeting, and I'll hand over to Clive. Welcome, everyone.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Clarence Richardson. I am the president of the board of directors for the Waltham Partnership for Youth. And I just want to thank you all for joining us this morning, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our annual meeting. So once a year, we have a special board meeting in which we welcome key stakeholders beyond our board. So with us today, we have some committed funders, WPY staff, and corporate and community partners. Today is an opportunity to present some headlines about what we've done over the past and highlight some of what we hope to do in the future. We are very grateful to be hosted by one of our fantastic corporate partners, ABCAM, for the second year and hopefully many more, as Alan mentioned. And we appreciate that ABCAM has generously welcomed us to their beautiful office today, has engaged Waltham High School students in our internship program, and has provided critical funding for our work through the sponsorship of WPY events. In addition to ABCAM CEO Alan Herzl, we'd also like to share a special thank you to Greta Lindberg and Gina De Silva for their leadership and role in planning this morning's event. So if we can give them a round of applause. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize a couple of special guests that we have with us today. First, thank you to Waltham Public Schools Interim Superintendent Leanne Wilsinski for taking time out of her busy schedule to join us this morning and for your support. And the support for the partnership is invaluable and tremendously appreciated. So thank you for joining us this morning. And then, of course, I have to thank our Honorable Mayor, Jeanette McCarthy, for joining us and showing her support for the Waltham Partnership for Youth. We appreciate all that you do to provide opportunities for Waltham's youth. And I also want to give you a special shout out for that beautiful brand new park that's right down the street from my house. So thank you so much and good morning. So before turning it over to our new executive director, Olivia Matthews, we have some brief business to attend to. So we will now move into the business portion of our meeting. Only WPY board members will be voting during our business meeting. So board members, please listen carefully. So I would like to call the 2023 annual business meeting to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the 2022 business meeting as presented? Speak up. You don't have to stand up, just, all right. So it's been moved by Terry and seconded by Ann to approve the minutes of the 2022 annual meeting. All those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? And any abstentions? The motion carries. So moving right along, the nominating committee has presented the following slate of directors to serve a 3-year term, and then all other board members are currently continuing their current board term. So our new board members, or new board members up for a new term, are Lisa Bocabella, Carolina Lara, Lisa Logery, Maria Mendiola, and Annabelle Tran. So WPY board members, again, all those in favor of that approving that slate, say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, with that, the motion carries. And then finally, our nominating committee presents the following slate of officers to serve a 1-year term. President, myself, Clarence Richardson. Vice President, Ann Mikulski. Treasurer, Doug Waybright. Clerk, Asan Alam. So WP board members, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? And any abstentions? So with that, the motion carries. So if I could just ask at this point for all of our WPY board members, even the recently elected ones, to please stand and be recognized by everyone. So as we wrap up, if you have any questions about the organization, those are the folks you have to talk to. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Terry, you want to do that one too? All right. It's been moved and seconded to adjourn our annual business meeting. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? And any opposition? So with that, the motion carries. Again, thank you all so much for joining us this morning. And that concludes the business portion of our meeting. So it's now my honor to turn it over to our new executive director for her first annual meeting, Olivia Matthews.
Thank you, Clarence. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. As many of you know, I have stepped into the role of executive director with great enthusiasm. I have also taken on this role with great recognition of the incredible work that Katie Dowsett has done over the past 7 years that brought the Waltham Partnership for Youth to the exciting moments in time that we have now reached. Waltham Partnership for Youth, also known as WPY, is a nonprofit organization founded 36 years ago. We bring everyone from biotech companies and hospitals to community partners and organizations to make Waltham the best city it can be for young people. We're excited to make sure you know all about WPY, our programs and resources, so you can become involved and make a difference for local students through your efforts. Raise your hand, since I used to be a teacher, or if you want to guess how many paid summer internships WPY arranged for students this past summer. Don't overguess or it won't be fun. Okay, fine. Erica. Great guess. Actually more, 106 paid internships. On my very first day at WPY, I attended the end of summer celebration for the interns, for WPY students and their employer partners. It was so powerful to hear the energizing conversations among students and their supervisors, from a STEM intern who'd been at a Waltham lab to a student who'd been a Newton Wellesley Hospital intern in radiology and her proud mother. They were all energized and excited about their future because of the opportunity to participate in the summer internship program through WPY. Back to 36 years ago, raise your hand if you know or are willing to guess how many employees WPY had 36 years ago. Thank you. Correct. One. And what about 7 years ago? Two. And now today, 10. We have from 2 staff members to 10 full-time, mission-driven, and dedicated staff today. I would love for you to know who each of our staff members are. So there are some pictures up here, and if you are a WPY staff member, some people are still waiting out there in case there are any latecomers, but if you're in here and your staff, can you stand so people know who you are? Machine. Great. Next, I would like to take a minute I would like to spend a minute talking about why our work matters. As many of you know, our programming falls into 2 overarching and sometimes overlapping areas: career exploration and training and wraparound Waltham. Both of these programs exist because of the economic opportunity gap between children who are born into poverty and those who have been lucky enough to have families with greater resources. Sort of like we heard from the CEO earlier. All it takes is an opportunity. The work that we do addresses the inequity and provides opportunities for students to succeed. Waltham is a vibrant city full of economic, educational, cultural resources. Unfortunately, many students in our community do not have access to the opportunities that are available. Did you know that Waltham has the highest number of job postings in the highest paid industries in the region, and yet more than half of Waltham High School students are considered economically disadvantaged, according to the Department of Ed website. Our career exploration and training programs give students the opportunity to build marketable skills and discover their interests while exploring a variety of careers and earning money. Students also attend skill building and career exploration workshops and receive one-on-one support as they learn how to develop their resumes, cover letters, personal vision statements, and interview skills. The other arm of our work is called Wraparound Waltham. As the name suggests, the goal is to ensure that all of the incredible resources that exist for students are made available to wrap around students and ensure their well-being. Similar to our career exploration and training programs, Wraparound Waltham exists to address the long-standing disparities between outcomes for students who have access to resources and those who do not. In particular, there's a growing population of newly arrived Spanish-speaking Latinx immigrant students who face tremendous challenges, not the least of which is a language barrier. I was thrilled to learn when I joined WPY that a majority of our staff are bilingual in Spanish, and some of them just walked in who you didn't get to see before. So can you stand to the staff members who stayed out just so you see the rest of our staff? Thank you. And part of Wraparound Waltham's success in supporting students involves establishing a welcome center in partnership with the Waltham Public Schools, where we provide newcomer families with personalized support and resources as they navigate life in Waltham. Right after I started, one of our high school students let me know how Waltham Partnership for Youth has powerfully impacted her life, and I want to share her words with you. Being an immigrant and having zero clue on how to navigate high school and what it meant to be in college, WPY really paved that path for me. I have done 7 internships in 4 years. When I got my acceptance letter and scholarship from Brandeis, as much as it was my hard work, I knew it wouldn't have been possible without WPY. Thank you for always stepping in as my family when my own family couldn't. I am excited for you to hear some more highlights of our work this past year, along with some headlines about plans for the year ahead. In a minute, I'm going to introduce our Director of Programs and Operations to share some WPY accomplishments, and then I'll come back to talk about the future and how you can help. It is now my pleasure to introduce our fantastic Director of Programs and Operations, Magali Garcia-Fletch, to tell you more. Please join me in giving Magali a warm welcome.
All right, 5 feet tall, lowering the mic. All right, thanks, Olivia, and good morning, everyone. My name is Magali Garcia Plech, and as Olivia mentioned, I have the absolute privilege of serving as WPY's Director of Programs and Operations. When I tell people that I love my job, I mean it with every bone in my body. Working with thoughtful students and dedicated and compassionate partners makes me feel so lucky to come to work every day. Our collective work gives me immense hope for the future, which I hope you'll also feel as you learn more about our programming over the next few minutes. So one of our primary program areas that you heard Olivia reference earlier is Wraparound Waltham. Wraparound is a multi-agency collaborative of educators, service providers, and community members, specifically dedicated to supporting Waltham's newcomer immigrant students and families. While we partner with many community agencies across Waltham, our key partners in this work are the Waltham Public School District, the Right to Immigration Institute, and our mental health and clinical partners, Children's Charter and Doc Wayne. Last year, we continued to strengthen our programming at the high school and also expanded into McDevitt Middle School. Wraparound's core components include the Welcome Class, which is a multi-week orientation class co-taught in Spanish by WPY and school staff and educators, where students build relationships with peers and culturally representative adults while learning about school and community resources. Additionally, our school partners lead academic check-ins, and we also ensure access to individual and group therapy via our grant-funded bilingual, bicultural clinical partners, as well as access to immigration legal consultations and legal education through our partnership with the Right to Immigration Institute. Through the Welcome Center, our bilingual and bicultural staff help families access basic needs supports, medical and mental health services, extracurricular activities, immigration and legal services, school information, and other community resources. Finally, we also conduct needs assessments with students to uplift students and families' strengths and also identify opportunities to provide additional support. Last year, through our welcome classes at the high school and McDevitt, we collectively served 259 newcomer students. I like the snaps, thank you. The Welcome Center, which serves newcomer families across the school district, supported 135 students and their families with referrals and support services. One student who received support through the Welcome Class and Welcome Center shared the following reflection about the wraparound program. I came to the United States in September 2022, and I started school in October. When I started school, I felt very nervous and anxious because I did not know anyone in the school or in Waltham. I left everything at home to have a better future for me and my family. I was missing my mother, I did not know anyone at school, the language was new, and I had problems with my aunt at home. Besides my mother, I never had an adult that would really listen to how I felt, and I really felt lonely. Mr. Josué Teo, a school employee, and Ms. Alexa Cuellar, one of our WPY employees, gave me a space to talk, cry, and share. Ms. Alexa's gentle smile and personality make me feel welcome and that I am important. She believes in me, even when I do not feel at my best. As we enter into this new school year, we are reflecting on the last several years of wraparound programming. Within the next few weeks, we will be publishing our annual wraparound report, which also explores the impacts of the initial 4 years of wraparound, some of which you'll see up on the screen. We will share a link to the report in an upcoming newsletter. So if you're not subscribed to our newsletter, please do so today. All right, so another focus of ours is administrating the Youth Risk Behavior Survey, which is a national survey that is conducted every 2 years by the Centers for Disease Control and statewide by the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education and Department of Public Health. If you saw national news reports earlier this year with alarming headlines regarding youth mental health, these reports were describing the trends identified through this survey. We are proud to lead the process for administering the survey locally in close collaboration with Waltham Public Schools and MXM Research Group. This process informs both our wraparound and career exploration and training programming as it elevates youth voice, and the findings are used by schools and the community as a whole. As of this week, yesterday, the 2023 survey report is officially available for review. At the table next to the food table, kind of in the back when you entered, you can look through a physical copy of the report or scan the QR code for a digital version. We will also share a link to the report in an upcoming newsletter. There's a lot of reasons to subscribe to the newsletter. And finally, we have our career exploration and training program. As Olivia mentioned, our career exploration and training program connects students to life-altering career development opportunities through meaningful paid internship experiences and professional development. Through our school year and summer internship program, we work with students to understand their skills and interests, and then match them with employers for paid internships in fields such as education, healthcare, biomedical research, and banking. This past year, between piloting a school year internship program and expanding our summer internship program, we placed Waltham High School students in over 100 different internships. Interns collectively earned over $285,000. Students have reported using their earnings for everything from paying for school expenses like senior prom and the French trip to saving for college and helping their parents with rent. A highlight of our internship program is the relationships between our students and stellar employer partners, many of whom have representatives here today. This past summer, we had 26 employers who all serve as more than supervisors for their interns. They are mentors and trusted adults that are setting a positive example for our interns, showing them the diversity of career paths that exist and teaching them valuable skills they will use for years to come. We firmly believe in the power of introducing students to different professionals and a variety of career paths. While the internships themselves are opportunities for exploration, we also coordinate a number of other career exploration activities, including the weekly career talks during the summer program, where we offer skills building workshops, career panels, and other professional development experiences. We also offer resume, cover letter, and interview support through our partnership with Bentley University, and we collaborate with Brandeis University to lead Roses in Concrete, which is a year-long leadership and mentorship program for students of color, where Brandeis undergraduates serve as mentors for Waltham High School students. And finally, we host our annual Ready, Set, Job event, where Waltham High School students spend a Saturday engaging with various career readiness workshops and practicing professional networking. You'll hear more about Ready, Set, Job from Olivia in a few minutes. If you are interested in learning more about our career exploration and training programming, we also have copies of our 2023 summer internship report available for your review, also hot off the presses, at the same table where the YRBS report is. And then you can also scan the QR code for a digital version. And of course, we will also share a link in our upcoming newsletter. And now I'm excited to pass the mic back to Olivia for you to hear about our vision for this next year.
Okay, I hope that in hearing from Magali about WPY's impact over the last year, you share my excitement to look ahead and to become involved. We have energizing plans to expand our impact both in career exploration and training and in wraparound Waltham. You might remember from the beginning how many summer internships we provided. Nice. Next summer, we are working to expand programming to 125 paid internships. A significant headline for our wraparound work in the upcoming year is that, as Magali said, we worked in McDevitt Middle School last year along with Waltham High School. This year, we are expanding to support students in both Waltham Middle Schools, the McDevitt and the Kennedy Middle School. If you would like to help us to reach Waltham students and reach our goals this year, I invite you to become involved. There are many ways, and I'm specifically going to highlight these three that you started to hear about from Magali. Okay, 3 ways, which include these. 1, you can build a robust corporate partnership with WPY, and it might include Ready, Set, Job. Your company can show up, engage with students. There are branding opportunities for sponsorships that help us. You can host interns either in the summer or during the school year. You can attend trivia for our cause. Raise your hand if you went to trivia last year. All right, so there's people who did. I hope you'll come back, and lots of opportunity for more people to join. And then attend our partner celebration. This is our largest annual event. Raise your hand if you came to that last year. Great. It is a joyful celebration and a meaningful fundraiser to support WPY. Okay, the third thing you can do is you can spread the word about WPY and the opportunities to help local students. We are really focusing on increasing our corporate engagement, and your help by following us on social media can help increase awareness of our work and ideally enlist new supporters. We have, anybody want to guess how many followers on LinkedIn? 50, someone said, 100. We have 915 followers, but we would like to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. That's a really important tool for us for getting more corporate support. So please follow us, like our posts, share our posts. All of the events have sponsorship opportunities available, as well as ways for individual donors to support our work, and we are truly grateful for our partners. We are called Waltham Partnership for Youth, as you know, and we are deeply appreciative of your consideration. I'm going to come back at the very end to close out the program. Make sure you remember these opportunities and to share a few other ideas for how you can support Waltham students. And now I'm quickly going to turn it back to Magali
to quickly introduce our student speaker, youth speaker. All right. Okay, so it is now my pleasure to introduce this morning's youth speaker, Cam Burns, and attempt not to cry when I do this. Cam is a recent Waltham High School graduate and an alum of our summer internship program, where he was the first ever WPY intern at the Waltham Fire Department. Cam and I first met 2 years ago when we were both new to Waltham, and he serendipitously found his way to our office, which, as many of you might know, is co-located at the high school. Cam, I'm talking directly to you. Every single one of us is incredibly proud of all that you have done over the last couple of years, and I am so excited for all of you to hear more of his story. So with that, please join me in welcoming Cam to the podium.
Morning, how's everyone doing? Doing good? My name's Cameron Burns. I'm the student speaker at today's annual meeting. And I'd like to extend a big thank you to everyone who came in WPY and the Waltham Fire Department. Can everyone hear me good enough? Okay. Let's see. I graduated from Waltham High School in 2023, and I started at that school at the beginning of junior year. I've lived in Waltham for about 2 years now. I've moved around a lot in my life. Waltham changed my life. This city really has its stuff together, I gotta say. It's very well put together. Although I was never excited about any particular courses that I took during high school, there were too many good teachers for me to choose a favorite, I gotta say. Let's see. I was part of the wrestling team at my time at Waltham High School, so I enjoyed that very much. I currently work 2 jobs at the YMCA, one as a lifeguard and another doing fitness floor shifts, basically cleaning up weights and talking to members, so I enjoy those very much. I like to exercise, play Nintendo, research potential career paths for myself, and get into things that are competitive. My dream career is to join the Air Force before eventually trying to become a firefighter. I came to Waltham Partnership for Youth Office back in my junior year. In the beginning, I'm just roaming around the school looking for stuff to do. Like most of our students were. We do get bored, but that happens. Let's see. I joked around a lot, and I was a goofy kid when I first came in. Didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I started by just getting snacks in the room, and I'd bring friends to the office. That way they could get opportunities too and support. But the staff was very helpful to talk to. Like, I had great conversations with a lot of the staff here. I didn't know what I wanted in life, but they were still great to talk to. Everyone who works here is a really good person, and they want to help give opportunities for the youth. Finally, I asked them about a firefighter internship, and Katie, the former executive director, worked with career and exploration training manager Majin and Lieutenant Ferrick to create a Waltham Fire Department internship for the summer. The 3 main men who mentored and educated me during my internship were Lieutenant Ferrick, Lieutenant Johnson, and Lieutenant Gerard. They're kind of like fathers to me. They taught me a lot of things that were very important for life. I'm very happy I met them. Very grateful for it too. Let's see. They taught me so much about the city and how society works in general. They showed me a lot of paths I didn't know I could take in life. Actually, all the people at the department who mentored me were really good people. They all mentored me in different ways. Very helpful. I got to co-create and teach lessons on inspections and building code with Lieutenant Ferrick. That's one of the things I got to teach. Captain Bonadio invited me to see the Fire Academy entrance process. Captain Crane showed me how to use vital equipment for firefighting. Deputy Pratt let me attend trainings. I got to do the ladder training with them. I did quite a few trainings with them. It was really fun. Let's see. Deputy Carano let me go on calls him in C2, aka Deputy Car 2. Lieutenant Perry even put my bike together in 15 minutes when I got a new bike. He's really good at that. In addition to the experiences I had at the station, I learned so many lifelong skills at the department. I learned how to think on my feet and make quick decisions. I learned how to be proactive, and that if you're doing nothing, you're basically doing it wrong. Try to find something to do. It's very important to find things to do. I'm more neat with my personal belongings, and I'm now able to take criticism and correct myself and improve upon that. I've also learned why it's important to explain rules and regulations to keep everyone safe. And I now make sure to explain and communicate that exceptionally at my lifeguard job. The three main I just had to switch the page. That happened. The leadership from the team at the fire department steered me in the right direction and it gave me a better idea of what I want to do in life and how I want to live. I'm much more diligent, vigilant, and prepared for the future and the path I have in front of me. This internship introduced me to a lot of social opportunities too. The guys have been great, so great to me. I feel like I've made a lot of important friendships. I look up to Lieutenant Ferrick. He's somewhat like a father to me. I imagine myself taking habits in how creative and intelligent he is. He's a very smart guy. Like he comes up with the most amazing ideas, if I'm honest. Firefighter Mario Santos. He's like a big brother to me, if I'm honest. He gave me study options for the ASVAB. It's a test required to go into the military and enlist. You take it at MEPS. We've had workout competitions, and I relate to Mario a lot. Like both of our upbringings are very relatable to each other. I relate to him a lot. He's my boy. All these guys are the most supportive and intelligent people I've ever met in my life. And they've helped me a lot with growing up in the last 2 years. Because it was honestly a struggle growing up because I would move from place to place, and now I finally feel like I have a place somewhere in Waltham. My WPY internship at the fire department was also important for me because I want other students to have opportunities like these. Like everyone said earlier, there's a lot of students who face a lot of challenges as growing up, such as myself, and there's even language barriers. So there's a lot of programs here that can help our students and our youth with that. Let's see. It was always a struggle growing up, and it can be for other students too. It can be for anybody. So these are the people to talk to. So I hope more students go to the WPY office. It'll help them out a lot. I'm telling you guys, these are the ones to talk to. WPY has enough connections that they'll get something for you. Maybe it's a new experience that you'd love to have. It's going to do nothing but benefit you. New work experience are much better than playing video games, sitting on the couch, or whatever you guys do. I don't know. I might know some. Let's see. It'll help you stay out of trouble, even if you don't have solid goals yet. It will help. It'll help you on finding your God-given purpose, and it's really good on your resume. Thank you to everyone who helped me at WPY and the Waltham Fire Department. Also, thank you to everyone who came to the annual meeting. Thank you very much. Also, thanks. Let's see. It's important that people learn about WPY because they're the root of all connection in the entire city of Waltham. My experience with WPY and the Waltham Fire Department showed me a path to get my life together. Once I get my life together, I want to help the next generation too, because I understand because I'm a part of them. Just like how WPY and the Waltham Fire Department did for me. Thank you, everybody.
So what was really fun for me throughout that was thinking about the Cam I met 2 years ago, and as he described, he was a very goofy kid. But I'm so happy that he stumbled upon our office and had all of these experiences together with us. He's a true testament to the importance of relationship building, asking questions, being curious, and asking for help and support when you need it. Oh gosh, I see them, everyone just looking at Cam and just being so happy and just happy to. All right. So with that, I'm going to actually invite Cam back up to the front of the room, and I'm going to invite a couple of our other staff members, Majine and Marlene, because we have a feeling that some of you might have additional questions about Cam's story or our programming. So we wanted to transition into a bit of a panel presentation for the next several minutes. So you heard from Cam already, so I'm just going to ask our other two staff members to quickly introduce themselves, and then I've got 2 questions prepared for them, and then we'll open it up for between 3 and 5 questions from the audience.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? My name is Majine Lucien, and I'm the Career Exploration and Training Program Manager.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marlene Godinez. I serve as the Wealth and Welcome Center Coordinator. I've been here for a year now. I just celebrated my first year anniversary, and the Wealth and Welcome Center is essentially serving our students and families that are newcomers to Waltham.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Marlene and Majine. So as you all have heard, Olivia and I mentioned a few times, we're very proud to work with a mission and values-driven staff and community as a whole. Some of you might know that WPY has 5 core values, and they are belonging, collaboration, compassion, courageous honesty, and youth-centeredness. So I'd like to ask each of our panelists to pick one of our values that feels most important to you today and tell us how you see this value expressed in our work.
I'll go first. So I think for me, collaboration is what I'm seeing today. The fact that so many people who are invested in young people in Waltham are coming super early on a Wednesday morning to learn more about our work and learn more about how they can be involved with our work is just sort of evident here. And what was the other part?
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to? Yeah, Marlene, go for it.
So I'm also picked collaboration as my core value, not just today, but every day. I think it's important that all of us in this room today, but also other community partners are working together to make things come to life. Without your support, none of the work that we're doing would be possible. And I think it's just really important to have that as a whole. And I just see it on a day-to-day basis at WPY with my teammates as well, just making sure work is getting done, but we're all supporting each other with different ideas and initiatives.
I can repeat them. So, and this is just helpful for everyone to know what our 5 core values are. Belonging, collaboration, compassion, courageous honesty, and youth-centeredness. Pick one.
I didn't want to choose the same one, but I have to choose collaboration. That's why I needed to hear all 5. I was like, let me figure it out. I choose collaboration too because just meeting people is a very important thing to do, like networking and putting yourself out there and understanding where other people come from. Very important.
I do think it's fitting that all 3 of our panelists chose collaboration because that's a synonym for partnership, which is in our name. So I think that makes loads of sense. I do just want to recognize that in Cam's story in particular, we did hear the rest of our values. So we heard belonging for Cam, for each of us, for the students that we work with. WPY and Waltham is working to create this community of belonging for all students, regardless of their backgrounds, regardless of the language they speak, regardless of if they're goofy or not goofy. And we're really proud that we're able to contribute towards that. Compassion. I know that we all have compassion for the young people we work with. They have compassion for us when we're maybe not being our best selves. And we just find that to be a really important part of how we interact with young people and with everyone that we work with in the community. Courageous honesty. Cam talked about learning how to accept criticisms and growing from that. And it takes being courageously honest to be able to do that. And of course, youth-centeredness is at the center of all that we do. So our next question for the panel before we open it up to everyone else. So Cam told us about some things you wanted to tell other students, but we want to hear from each of you about one thing that you wanted to tell, that you would want to tell an adult who is interested in getting involved with WPY for the first time. Hint, hint, we have a captive audience here. Although many of you are currently involved. So if there was one thing you wanted to tell an adult who is trying to get involved with us, what would you tell them? Do you want to start, Cam?
Yeah, I can start. Funny thing, I did come up with this idea a while ago. If we can go out towards small businesses that can't afford employees, and if we get them interns, that way they temporarily have employees, and that'll help them a lot to get on their feet, because a lot of small businesses do not get a lot of funding, and I'd say it's a great idea for that. I think that's kind of what we are with the internships. It's very good on the resume.
It's it's reciprocal, right? Mutually beneficial. So yeah, I think in terms of the internship program, as some of you might know, about half of our employer partners fund their interns, and we really appreciate when employer partners are able to do that. But to Cam's point, we work with a lot of community-based organizations or smaller businesses, and through our partnership with Mass Hire Metro Southwest Workforce Board, we are able to support the youth stipends there and hourly wages. Madeleine, how about you?
Sure. I think it is imperative to have all 5 of our core values instilled in us in order to serve our in the organization, because without these, you're not able to serve adequately our youth. And we know it from this end of the perspective of working within the organization, but just from the outside, having compassion, courageousness, youth-centeredness, belonging, courageous honesty is just super important to have it.
I would say to just do it. So there are a variety of ways to be getting involved with young people. So it could be that you're hosting an intern, which I would always love. But if you can't, it could be that you are participating in our career talks, or you're finding ways to be teaching students the skills that you already have, or skills that you wish you'd had at their age. So there's no limit to how we can be involved with young people. And if you think back to yourself, what would you have wanted an adult to be doing for you, and try to bring that into the programming that we already have.
All right, so that's what I had prepared, but I would love to open it up to the audience for a couple of questions, more than a couple. We have about 10 minutes. So if anyone does have a question, you can raise your hand. We can either bring the mic over to you, or you can use your teacher voice and scream out the question. Oh, thank you.
Questions?
Be shy.
I was wondering, since Cam mentioned that he wandered around to find you, how do you make your opportunities available to students, both in the wraparound and in the other programs that you have?
Does.
Was it not? Oh, okay. Yeah, the question was, how do students find out about you? I noticed that Cam said he wandered around and found you, and I didn't know if that was just colloquial speaking, or if there was a more direct way to find out about your programs at the high school and the junior highs.
You want to say how you found out?
Legitimate.
Yeah.
Wait, I think I have one too.
Okay.
So I was pretty much wandering around the school, like in between lunchtime, So they have an office in the high school, and you can see like a sign out there. You can see there's pictures of the employees, and I originally went in there, and they told me some stuff. They told me about opportunities. There was not there was for a while. I just pretty much talked to them, and they'd show me this new opportunity. I'm like, "Hey, maybe not this one," and I finally found something. But yeah, I'm a tough cookie, if I'm honest, when it comes to like what I want to do. But yeah, they explained a lot of stuff, and they helped me with my resume originally. So, and I didn't really even have to. When I originally did my resume, it wasn't that well put together, but they put it together pretty well with me.
Hello? Okay. I think outreach happens in a variety of ways. So we have some really awesome school partners who we can share the information with, and a lot of teachers add it to their Google Classrooms. You'll see us around posting flyers for students to see, and sometimes they pay attention to them, other times they don't. Some of it happens through word of mouth. So as Cam mentioned, he came to grab snacks at some point, and then was telling everyone else about snacks. And then it sort of became a thing of students coming into our office for snacks. And then while you're there, you just sort of try to catch them and say, do you know why we're here? Or here's an opportunity that you might be interested in. And then the other thing that I enjoy doing is just like walking around in the library and bribing students, where I say, if you listen to what I have to say for the next 2 minutes, then you get a lollipop. And more often than not, they will listen and they'll get a flyer, and I'll get an email later on, or I'll see that they've applied for something that I've told them about.
It's kind of like fishing.
So all right, so those are definitely some. At the high school. So that they again, so much of the way that we find out about students and that find out about us is in partnership with the with other students and with us. Oh, I forgot we had, sorry. What I was just mentioning to folks online, and again to people in the back if you couldn't hear me. So Majeen and Cam were both talking about some of the ways that students find our office and find our programming, but we also work really closely with our school partners and several other community partners, particularly through the Wraparound Waltham program. We have our school partners enrolling students into the welcome class, which is happening during the school day. So it's it's integrated into the school day through the enrichment blocks at the schools. So again, we couldn't do all of that work without our school partners. All right, we might have time for one or two more questions. All right, I see one in the back from Kelly. And we will use the microphone because, as I just learned, we need to use that for our folks online. Thank you.
I just wondered if you would speak to both the need and demand for maybe bilingual internships.
Yes. So it's always really tough to not have as many opportunities for our emergent bilingual students, just because there's the excitement there on their end. However, what I never want to do is put a young person in a situation where they're having to feel other just because they don't understand the language, or the employer partner doesn't isn't able to communicate. So our programs are open to emerging bilingual students, but what we do try to do with our employer partners is in our employer info session, we talk about the guidelines for working with emerging bilingual students. So making sure that their direct supervisor speaks the language that they speak, and that there's opportunities to be constantly connecting with young people, so that they sort of feel on the same page as everyone else in the office. So the need is definitely there, but I think it's just it has to be the right fit. In some cases, we've been able to create internships around emerging bilingual students. So, in the name of collaboration and partnership, Wraparound actually had an intern this summer that was working on behalf of the Wraparound program in their summer programming. And then last year at the library, we had an ELL intern that worked closely with Aaron in the work that he was doing in adult ESL education courses. So in some ways, it does work when I think there's intention and thought put around how do we make this the best experience for the student while they're also sort of learning the English language.
All right, we have time for one more question if there's any other questions. All right, I see one up here. Evan, do you want to raise your hand again so we can bring the mic up here? Or I'll take it back to you.
Hi, thank you. Cam, in your speech, you said that WPY is the root of all connection in the city of Waltham, and I love that idea. I'd love to hear or ask about what some of your wishes are for how WPY can strengthen that element of your work being the root of connection. Like, what do you hope for yourself to be a stronger root of connection in the city of Waltham?
Thanks, Evan. That's a great question. All right. Ready? Yeah, Cam, do you want to?
Yeah, I can. I think they do that very great. I think they improve every year. Like everyone said, there used to be one employee, then there was 2, and now there's 10. So I think they're just going to improve every year and spread out. Just like meetings like this, the more people come, the more people hear, and the more people that get recruited for this. That'll solve. It might just spread in the entire city. More flyers, stuff like that. More advertising.
Thanks, Cam. I want to just give one example before. I think that's actually a great segue to our closing remarks with Olivia. But Cam actually this summer, when he was an intern at the fire department, participated in story time at the Waltham Public Library, where we also had an intern. So I think one of my dreams in terms of connections is being able to be that kind of facilitator where we have a fire department intern, a Waltham Public Library intern, and they're working with their supervisors, some of whom are here today, to be putting on programming or doing their existing work, but really making it come alive for the young 3-year-olds who are going to the story time and on Waltham lawn or in the library lawn, and there's people kind of passing by and becoming engaged in those ways. But I think having our young people be a part of that and also then be role models for the really young students that are there. I think that's something that's really important to me. So seeing more of the connections and multiple connections that are coming from that feels really amazing and important to me. And I'm glad that we're kind of at the center of that. So with that, I'd like to thank our panelists. Thank you for the great question. It over to Olivia real quick, where you're going to hear about more opportunities for making those connections.
Thank you, panelists. Thank you, Magali. Thank you, fantastic audience. I'm going to close it out now. And I wanted to thank each and every one of you for joining us this morning. On behalf of our entire board and our staff, we really appreciate you took time out of your very busy lives to be here with us today. And before we say goodbye, I want to highlight 3 opportunities where you can make a difference. There are flyers that look just like this that you can take with you on your way out. So anybody remember what you can do for the first one? Ready, set, job? Come on, some brave soul. What is it about?
Expanding our corporate reach and talking to other companies to see about opportunities to engage.
Thank you, Carolina Lara. Yes, you can meaningfully expand kids' horizons by setting up a Ready, Set, Job participation. Raise your hand if you did it last year. Not so many people yet. Thank you. So there's lots of opportunity there. And if you're hosting summer interns, you can do like a speed networking that day with students. They can hear about opportunities. You can present information about careers they can have. We can customize for you the kind of workshop you'd like to lead. We had one company interested in doing something STEM related. Another company wanted to do finance. The students are hungry to have a menu of opportunities. There are sponsorship levels available for each of these 3 events. So there's Ready, Set, Job, number 1. Number 2 is Trivia for a Cause. And number 3 is the Partner Celebration. So I hope you will consider one or all of those opportunities and take a flyer when you go. And lastly, if you want to make an individual donation of any size, we would be thrilled. Olivia Spellman is our development communications coordinator. You can talk to her. You can talk to me. Yes, we have 2 Olivias just to confuse you. And I really wanted to close out with one more thank you for your time. You're welcome to stay for a little bit and talk to people, staff, board members, each other. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.